here to protect it. We're there to protect it, to tell the stories and make sure people understand the importance of it. But can I point out as well that, you know, Jenolan Caves, as John has already said, you know, was discovered around 1838. We speak about the Whalens, but we also know that it may have been James McEwen, who was an outlaw at that time, who may have used the caves previously as well for a bit of a hideout. So it's got a long-standing history there with the way in which the caves have been used in the past. If we have a look at the Aboriginal people too, the Aboriginal people used to name it Binamia, which meant dark places. And I think that's quite significant, as well as to the traditional owners, as to the way in which they named the caves in that particular area. Can I just point out too that I think the caves themselves, it wasn't until 1866 that they came under the control of the government. And it wasn't until 1872 that it was actually illegal to take structures away from the caves. And I think that was fairly important, and we know that John Lucas, who was a Member of Parliament, was instrumental in making sure that laws were introduced to make it illegal to take those structures away. You know, today when we do go to those caves, whether it be the Lucas Cave, Elder Cave, we do see where there has been structures that have been taken over those years. Also, can I just say, anyone that wanted to make a trip to the Jenolan Caves, it used to be about we didn't have travel agents like we do today, okay? So, you know, there was a lot of planning that had to take place. You know, you had to have about a week or two to actually sit down and think about how you were going to get there. I mean, it was a 6-hour train trip. A 6-hour train trip from Sydney to Taranaki. When you got off at the train at Taranaki, it was then a 4-hour trip from buggy from Taranaki through to Oberon. Then it was another 4-hour trip from Oberon to the Jenolan Caves. So it was a fairly significant trip that actually had to take place just to get to see the cave. So, I mean, I suppose that's technology and advancements over time, but we're very lucky now that it doesn't take us 14 hours to actually go and actually see the caves for the beauty in which they are. I think I've got 2 parts. I know we're about to hand the manuscript over, and I know that, you know, we're very lucky, John, and I think everyone in this room is very grateful that someone of your expertise, someone of your skill, was able to recognise that this manuscript had significance and importance, because a lot of things like this are lost, and a lot of history is lost, it's thrown out, it sits in someone's back cupboard over the years. You know, someone else comes in, cleans out the house, and these things are thrown. So that is lost. So to be able to have that manuscript of a 22-year-old boy who actually tells the story of the gratification and what he experienced and what he saw in those caves is something quite unique and something quite special that we've actually been able to obtain and able to keep as well. I will thank other people now as well. I mean, Jeanette Dunkley as well. I mean, for you to go through and transcribe it as well, an incredible amount of work, and I really congratulate you for your contribution as well. Brian, for the layout and the design. I know that we've... Bruce. There's a Brian watching Bathurst.
Poor fella.
Bruce, so I congratulate you as well, because I know that you and I have sat down, you've showed me the draft as well. I think an incredible amount of commitment and time, and it just shows your passion as well for the Jenolan Caves. But I think it's wonderful we've got this. To the Royal Australian Historical Society, a grant of $1,000, very important as well to make sure that we can get this guide, this booklet created to be able to share that history, because this is a story about yesteryears. It's a story about sharing the stories with others. It's about our pioneers, the beauty of what we have, and something that we should preserve and keep hanging on to as well. So thank you for having me here. It's wonderful to be able to hand the manuscript over very shortly to you, Richard, but it's also wonderful to be able to be here for what is a significant book that has had a lot of people contribute towards its production. Well done. Thank you.